Hello. Have we done digestion of the three classes of food? We've done lipids now, fats and oil. Have we done absorption? Eh. Okay. We've done digestive system number. Please, does anyone have Idodu make college biology? Please help me if you do. Okay, so listen. We agreed that there is what we call fate of food. One time like that. Did we talk about it here? So that for every food that you see or that enters your mouth, how many things will happen to it? 4 things, right? The first one is what? Digestion, followed by absorption. So we have, the acronym we used was what? DAME. The class, when I work will be Jesus. I'm sorry. Wicked. Okay, we're asking me. Okay, I'll put you when you want to. Guess what's happened to me? I would have died though. If I die, my angers are the way Enugu State to cry. Not even. Yes, so the way Enugu State to. Not only Enugu State, people in Anambra were crying. Everyone. I was on my own, no, on my own. Something told me, move. I forgot that I'm gonna go Maya. I raised my hand, fan cut my hand. Who is clapping? Blood of Jesus. It was a small winch. Why are you clapping? I began to bleed though. It did not cut off. I even thought it cut off. Fan that was on 5. But thank God, they had to suture the hand. Okay, so let's start. So we are done with digestion, right? So we are in the second stage now, which is what? Absorption. So we're going to look at what happens to food in the intestine after the digestion has occurred, the activities of the small intestine as the food enters the blood. So that's what we're going to look at. At this stage in secondary school, metabolism of food is not usually taught. You learn about that in university. There is a course called metabolism. You learn and get tired. So, but we might briefly talk about excretion, which you know. You get? Okay, so let's write absorption of food. Food absorption. Which organ looks like leaf in the human body? It's not even leaf, it looks like walking stick. They said it's walking stick, it looks like. Okay, so look up. We assume this is our esophagus, right? This is the what? Stomach. Then what will this one be? It will be the duodenum. The duodenum is a C-shaped organ. It looks like letter C in the body. The bulk of what you find at the... Have I told us about the trunk here? In the other class, right? So what's this place called? The abdomen, right? English language you also call it belly. Is that right? Or tummy? Igbo will call it afo. Okay? Okay. So the bulk of what we find at the center here is the jejunum. Is the what? The jejunum is the largest or the longest part of the small intestine. The duodenum is just 25 cm. Very small. The ileum is not too big too. But the bulk, someone has accident, it will pour out. Is the jejunum we are seeing there, right? So we are going to actually base our explanation around this place. So listen before I write, listen. Okay, so earlier than now, I've told us that the space where food passes through the whole length of the GIT is called what again? What's it called? The lumen. It's called what? Lumen. So food has been digested up to this point. This is where the food is now. Is that right? So the carbohydrates has been broken down to glucose, right? Proteins are broken down to what? Amino acids. Then fats and oil has been broken down to fatty acid and glycerol. So all of them are now here in the small intestine. And remember, we said that the pancreatic juice is secreted from the pancreas into the where? The lumen of the small intestine. Please pay attention now. So actually this is the pancreas. This is called the pancreatic duct. So the pancreatic duct is what actually where the pancreatic juice passes through is the pancreatic duct, and it opens into the duodenum. Can you name it what's now? Jesus. My right hand is still active. Okay, so we are going to magnify this. We are going to expand the duodenum and see what is inside. Do you get? So if we expand it, we have something like this. Now remember, this space is called what again? The lumen. Now, some should help me with long notes. Any long notes here? Let's be fast. Okay, so let's assume, please look up. Let's assume this is the duodenum. Now, if we cut the duodenum maybe from this end and this end, and we have here, we look at it, you will see a space through here, right? What's that space called again? The lumen. Is that correct? Now, in the inside, how many of you have eaten towel here before? Towel of meat. That towel of meat is actually the small intestine. Is the what? Small intestine. Now, that thing we call towel actually is what we call the villi. It's called what? The villi is the functional. Listen now. Hey, Jesus. So the villi is that towel or rough parts. Is that making sense? So that's the actual ways inside your body. Most of the drugs that are produced are, before they are sold to market, they are actually experimented with animals. Like we have what we call lab rats. Have you heard about that before? Lab rats. Most of the experiments they do in school, you see all those that are whitish in color, very white and small. Because the body of those, they are mammals. You know what mammals are in biology now? Any organism that is capable to give birth is what we call what? Mammals. So both rodents, even snakes are mammals. Are they? No. Snakes are reptiles. Some are amphibians. But all those rabbits, rats, dogs, they are all what? Mammals. So there are some experiments they will want to do. Like after producing a drug, maybe against tuberculosis, they will inject the drug. They will first of all inject the tuberculosis bacteria into the rats and see the rats react. And then they will inject the drug produced inside the same rats. So whatever effect it has in that animal, the same effect will happen in who? In humans. Is that making sense? All those vaccines they give you, they first of all test it in human beings before they test it in humans. They first test it in animals before human beings. Do you get? So all those things you see, like I was telling someone, do you know you have eaten the hearts of fish here before? Even the hearts of chicken. I know I've seen it many times. You see it is very small. If you should open that, one day I did the experiment, though because it has been cooked, you won't really see. After cooking it, the blood now changes color. But if you should use maybe fork or knife and open that heart small, chickens are birds, right? In the embryonic evolution, we are told that birds have how many heart chambers? 2 chambers. They have 2 chambers. Chickens, wait, Jesus. So I can't confuse you again. What's your problem? Fishes have how many chambers? 2. Fishes have 2. Why birds have 4? Birds and mammals have 4. Reptiles and amphibians have 3. Okay, so if you should open that heart, you will see typically the same thing in you there, just that it's now going to be very small. So what I'm trying to say in essence, that you have seen a villi before. Do you get? That towel is villi, and the villi is the functional unit of the digestive system. Take note of it. It's in your past question. The functional unit of the digestive system is the villi. Functional unit of the respiratory system is the what? Alveoli. You've heard of alveoli before, right? So alveoli is functional units of respiratory. Functional units of the kidney or renal system is the what? Nephron. Take note of those things. The first one I said is functional units of digestive, which is what? Villi. Second one is functional units of respiratory. Alveoli on the board. Alveoli. Functional units of the renal system of the kidney is nephron. Functional units of the nervous system is the neuron. What's the problem? The first one is digestive system. Second one is respiratory system. Third one is urinary or renal or kidney. That one is nephron. The last one I said is nervous system. Functional units of the nervous system. Did we get it? Villi is for which one? Digestive. Alveoli, respiratory. Nephron is for urinary, kidney, or renal. All of them mean the same thing. Then neuron is for which one? Nervous system. Okay. So as I said, when you magnify, when you open up this lumen, please look up. When you open up the duodenum now and open it, now that part of the duodenum where food touches, that the food comes in contact with, is what we call the what? 500 naira. You don't know it, Sha? The part of your GIT where food touches, comes in contact with, is called dash. In 5 seconds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't know it. You want me to trek home, but God passed you, Sha. It's called the mucosa. It's called what? And where you? Thank God, Nino Nazanoromia. Jishike, won't come. It's called the mucosa or mucous membrane. It's called the mucosa or mucous membrane. So we have that. Look up again. We have that if you open up the small intestine, that place the food touches the what? Mucosa. Now in that mucosa, we have finger-like projections of the mucosa. The mucosa actually extended out. Please look up. I'm explaining something now. So let's assume this is the mucosa. As the mucosa comes out, it extends out as finger-like projections. This finger-like projection now is that thing you call towel. It's called what? Towel in your meat. But these finger-like projections in biology are called the what? Villi. Is that making sense? Okay, so inside the duodenum now, they look like this. Remember, this is the mucosa. Is that right? So in the mucosa, they all project out. And they are very tiny. You know how they look in that towel now, right? It's very tiny. So those tiny things is what is responsible for the process of what? Absorption. For the process of what? Absorption. So what absorbs food in your body? What absorbs food in your body, please? The villi. One is called villus. It's called what? Villus. So do you understand what I explained now? You should. So we are going to look at the structure of a villus and the process of absorption. It's not a big thing. And then we differentiate absorption from assimilation. And we are done with this. Is that good to go? Okay, so let's try it. Food absorption. The structure of the intestine, slash GIT. You still remember what GIT is, number? The structure of the intestine slash GIT is such that the structure of the intestines or GIT is such that there is an innermost, is that, wait. Is such that there is a composing wall, such that there is a composing wall, like your normal wall, W-A-L-L, composing wall of the GIT. There is a composing wall of the GIT which has four layers, namely the mucosa, comma, the submucosa. Hope you can spell sub, S-U-B. What does sub mean? Under. Is that right? So the mucosa, comma, the submucosa, comma, the muscular layer, and an outermost layer of connective tissue, and an outermost layer of connective tissue, and an outermost layer of connective tissue, semicolon. Who man table semicolon beacon? Bomrecom, okay? I said the mucosa, the submucosa, the muscular layer, and an outermost layer of connective tissue, semicolon, from inside to outside, from inside to outside, full stop. From inside to outside, full stop. What we mean is that this arrangement I listed now is arrangement of the wall of the GIT from the inside to the outside. Who might be wall? Where's that long note? We have that. Look up. If this is, hello, if this is the duodenum as we said, remember the space here is the lumen, right? Now this thickness, the thickness of the GIT from esophagus down to your anus, that thickness is what we call wall. It's called what? The wall. So that wall is arranged from inside to outside. So the innermost one, the innermost layer of the wall is called the what? Mucosa. It's called what? As I told you, that's the one that has direct contact with the what? Food. Is that making sense? Leave the other three. You don't need it. The submucosa, muscular, and connective tissue. You don't really need it. The one you need in this class is which one? The mucosa. Okay, full stop. In the intestines, specifically the small intestine. In the intestines, specifically the small intestine. In the intestines, specifically the small intestines, there are finger-like projections. That's finger-like, finger-like. There are finger-like projections responsible for the process of absorption. Finger-like projections of the mucosa. Please add mucosa. There are finger-like projections of the mucosa responsible for the process of absorption. There are finger-like projections of the mucosa responsible for the process of absorption. There are finger-like projections of the mucosa responsible for the process of absorption. Full stop. There are finger-like projections of the mucosa responsible for the process of absorption. Full stop. These projections are called the villi. These projections are called the villi. These projections are called the villi. Full stop. Full stop. Absorption is the process. Absorption is the process by which food nutrients. Absorption is the process by which food nutrients obtained from food. Absorption is the process by which food nutrients obtained from food are transported. Is the process by which food nutrients obtained from foods are transported into the bloodstream. Are transported into the bloodstream. Full stop. On the other hand, assimilation, assimilation is the process by which food nutrients in the blood, in the bloodstream or in the blood are carried into cells. For cellular use. Are carried into cells for cellular use and ATP production. Are carried into cells for cellular use and ATP production. Are carried into cells for cellular use and ATP production. Full stop. Full stop. Okay, so you draw this. That's why you hate biology, right? They always draw in. I told you it's not by drawing now, isn't it? So we have something like this. Okay, so please draw this. Hope you can see what I drew. Okay, please be very fast. Make sure you're writing now. Make sure you're writing. So we'll not fight this afternoon. So we have the transport of nutrients from the intestinal lumen into the blood is called what? Absorption. Is that right? Then the movement of the nutrients to cells is called assimilation. So that's the summary of what we just said now. Is that clear, please? Okay. And the aim, I've asked this question sometime here before. What's the aim of eating every day? Huh? What's the aim for eating? You wake up every day, you are hungry, you go and eat. The aim is to produce energy. To do what? Produce energy. That's the end product of every food you put in your mouth. Biscuit, shawarma, all of them are going down to what? Energy production. Is that clear? Did I do glucose? Did we talk about insulin and glucagon in this class? Did I talk about beta cells, like what they do? I know I said it. Okay. So that's about that. That's about that one. So now, the next thing to do is that we'll talk about the villus. We're going to talk about the villus. What's the last statement there, please? Okay. So, full stop. Let's write. The villi, as said before, the villi, as said before, the villi, as said before, is the functional units of the GIT. The villi, as said before, is the functional unit of the GIT. These villi are solely responsible for absorption. These villi are solely responsible for absorption. Hope you can spell solely. What does solely mean? Solely means self. I remember those days in business studies, you hear about sole proprietor. Where? So means that's self. So I'm just trying to say that the components, listen now, listen. You can't run if you're becoming. You need to back to my exam. I have exam. It's not even this class. Can I go? Oko alan 350 now. Go my what? Can I go? Okay. You can no give you that they make. If you go down again. Oko 450 now. Go. Okay, so I said the villi are solely responsible for what? Absorption. Full stop. The diagram below shows the structure of a villus. The diagram below shows the structure of a villus. You know how to spell villus? Villus is singular, that's one. Okay, so let's draw again. Why I hated biology that year. Small thing, draw. Small thing, draw. Up here? Hope you will not hate it. Are you hitting it? Okay. Onye. This thing just reminded me of something I saw in theater one day. Should I tell you? There's what we call. I'll tell you when you finish drawing. Just remind me. Remind me about hernia. What did I say? Hernia. The correct pronunciation is what? Hernia. It's not hyena. Hyena is an animal. I remember I taught us nutrition, yeah, ba? What's the difference between scavengers and saprophytes? Who can help me? Oh, yeah, what's your 500 naira? I'm not repeating the question again. No. So who is going? Raise your hand. Let me see you. Stand up. Scavenger versus saprophytes. Difference between scavenger. I'm serious. So I'm get here. Go na ba. Na bi ko bi aka ngwa ge. Na reba ntiwe onko apu na oto.
Scavengers are organisms living. Scavengers are living organisms that feed on leftover dead animals. While saprophytes are living organisms that feed on decaying animals or plants. I said that saprophytes are living organisms that feed on decaying dead materials, that is either plants or animal, while scavengers are organisms that feed on dead animals, leftover dead animals.
Hello. Hello. Say Jesus. Oh, your face is familiar. I've met you somewhere in Dubai. You know, there's a way we walk in the spirit. Yeah. Do you want spiritual or physical? Or can you answer the gogi? The thing is that later I will see. I want it to be a secret gift, you know. But the important thing is why you what scavenger feeds on what? About Yaku, about where you back us, the major difference is scavenger feeds on leftover. Eh? Cheru? Cheru? Or you? Ha 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 ha. Oh, Diana, I can not you. Because shift to. No money now, but help me. Okay, when you get here, so one is your interest. Man shall not leave my money alone. I are trying now.
Okay, should I stand up? Okay. Scavengers feed on dead organisms. Then afterwards, saprophytes will now finish up the work. The decaying part. Saprophytes feed on dead and decay.
Listen. You want to help us? You are disgracing this afternoon now. It's like we'll write quiz next time I'll come here. Amam couldn't say Agua Nago.
Uncle, saprophytes feed on decaying organic matter or debris. Example, fungi and bacteria. Why scavengers feed on dead animals. I said saprophytes feed on decaying organic matter or debris. Example, fungi and bacteria. While scavengers feed on dead animals. Animal. Yeah, dead animal.
I can swear with my one finger in your area now. Can you know na cook ya hold your tea na cook ya? Where's your my guy? Where's your on your tea? Oh yeah, actually, go ya watch I run you yet ago. Edge the gum ya. Okay, want to answer?
Scavengers feed on dead animals, example, vulture, while saprophytes feed on decaying organisms, converting them from organic to inorganic materials.
Unani yoku. Oh yeah, listen. The reason for asking this, I told you what my encounter in WAEC, ba? Did I tell this thing? I told us the mistake I did in WAEC. That question was define and list the examples of saprophytes. I rushed and defined saprophytes. Define, finish, examples. I was listing wolf, hyena, vulture. Now, the thing is that both scavengers and saprophytes feed on dead things. They do what? Feed on dead things. You must die first. They can't come and eat you. Like vulture flies around. Vulture cannot just come and start pursuing you, seeing you standing. But once it hears a gunshot, it will fly and come. Same with wolf. If you are in the wild and a wolf sees you, a wolf would actually stay around. They stay in the bush. But once they see anything that is dead, they will come around. Similar thing in the water. What actually attracts whale is what? Blood. So even if you are swimming and a whale is very far from you, a whale can be in a buoyant state and perceive the smell of blood here. Within 5 minutes, it will get here sharply. Okay, is it shark? Amazing. I don't know again. I don't know. But what I'm trying to say is that, listen, the major difference is that scavengers feed on dead. Just dead. The English I used for us that day, listen. Scavengers feed on dead organic matter, while saprophyte feeds on decaying organic matter. Now, I'm not too active today. Oh. I don't have fun, so we might not be laughing too much. But just get what I'm saying. Scavengers feed on what? Dead. While saprophytes feed on decaying. Do you get? So the both of them have died. But just that once that thing dies immediately, if scavengers are around, they will come and feed. And remember, I told us that they don't feed on everything, right? They just, if it's a dead person, the wolf's vulture can just come, perch. Just, they will eat that. Have you seen a bird eating a, what fruit is that? Canada to channel. Mango, yes. You see that they don't even pawpaw. They don't eat everything. They just eat one part. They will go their way, right? So that's same thing wolves, hyenas, scavengers do. They might just eat a particular point of the body and go. Then giving it few days later, saprophytes will now come in. And then saprophytes actually help in what we call nitrogen fixation. Who may nitrogen cycle ever? That's why I have bacteria such as azotobacter and nitrobacter, right? They help in nitrogen fixation because as they come in, they will start decaying. As they decay the food or the animal, they will convert the body back to nitrogen into the soil. Is that clear? Okay. So what even brought me to that thing? I can't remember. Okay. So we have that the villus looks like this. We have something like this. Please draw this thing very fast, so there is no time. Okay, let's be very fast, please. Unemechogo? Idodu make college biology or the ever? Huh? Anyone with it, please? Idodu make college biology. Idodo ume or the ever? Open to food, please. Open food test for me. People should be fast, so. Okay, look up before you saw your labels. In case you're not seeing my writing, look up, look up. We have, please draw what I drew, very importantly. Don't draw your own, draw what I drew. Like this thing I drew here, look up. This thing I drew throughout this place is like this. These things are cells. They are what? This pom-pom, you must put pom-pom in your own. No. That pom-pom means nucleus. It means what? Who taught you cell? Am I the one? Have they taught you cell, yeah? When I maybe cell biology. Who na fugo maka? You've not done cell, animal cell, plant cell. You've not done it in MYDREAMSACADEMY. Oh, Jesus Christ. Have you done taxonomy? Oh, you na shikwa bupata. Una de lie, eh? Have you done ecology? Please look up. Let me see what I'm saying. I said these dots here means what? Nucleus. So if you expand it, your normal animal cell, the nucleus is actually peripheral. Please stop making noise. The nucleus is located peripherally. It's not at the center. I corrected. I don't know if I'm not the one that taught you. I know those days in secondary school, if you tell us to draw cell, we draw one circle, put circle at the center, it's not a cell. This in Bukonkom, maybe in essence. The nucleus of a cell is located where? By the side. Is that clear? The first organelle you find after the nucleus in an animal cell is what? Are you sure that you not do cell here? I gave me an F if I a cell. We'll do it now. Just let's finish this one. Okay, so as I said, if you notice, there are small lines, these cilia-like stuffs around. Those cilia-like stuffs are called microvilli. They are called what? Look up, oh, stop writing. Look up, look up. Now, these cells inside the villus are called enterocytes. What does cytes mean again? Cell. Entero. Where is entero coming from? Enteric. Enteron. What does enteron mean? Jesus Christ. I remember I told us different between alimentary canal, enteron, go. What does enteron mean in the Bible? Okay. Hey Maria, Udo de Rege. Now, these smaller spiral shaped stuffs are blood vessels. Now, this small thing that's protruded from down here upwards is called a lymphatic vessel. Please, not duct. Lymphatic vessel. Please correct it. And that lymphatic vessel is called lacteal. Lacteal. Then the space between the cell and the blood vessel is called lymphatic space. Is that clear? I'm not proud of you people. We are not reading your books. Everybody tear out a sheet of paper. Me no so time I do more so. I'm going to say agwa. It's not making sense. Number one, I think I've taught us. Did I just cardiovascular system? Okay, let me believe I just taught us. It's only nutrition we have done. Number one. Just 10 questions. 10 questions. You're not supposed to tear your book. Oh. My name is Dokagi, and what is it? You're supposed to write it inside your book, but anyhow. I said tear a sheet of paper. Oh, Gary, I'm one if you never need baby. I won't go say mem nine. So quick test review. Number one. Dash and dash are the two types of nutrition. I'm not giving you any option. No. Dash and dash are the two types of nutrition. Dash and dash are the two types of animal nutrition. Number one is dash and dash are the two types of nutrition. Number two, dash and dash are the two types of animal nutrition. Number three, which of these is not a step in life stage of photosynthesis? Which of these is not a step in light stage of photosynthesis? Which of these is not a step in the light stage of photosynthesis? Which of these is not a step in the light stage of photosynthesis? A. Reduction of CO2. A. Reduction of CO2. B. Activation of chlorophyll. C. Reduction of NADP+. Reduction of NADP+. That's nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate. Reduction of NADP+. Then D. Photolysis of water. Photolysis of water. Photolysis of water. Photo and lysis. Number one. Number again, Nikita. Number 4. Dash and dash undergo chemosynthesis. 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 Number 5. Deficiency of a certain vitamin. Deficiency of a certain vitamin causes bleeding of gums. Bleeding in the gums. Deficiency of a certain vitamin causes bleeding in the gums and delay in healing process. Deficiency of a certain vitamin causes bleeding in the gums and delay in healing process. This vitamin is dash. This vitamin is dash. This vitamin is dash. Number again, Nikita. Number 6. The weakness of bones. The weakness of bones and skeletal components. The weakness of bones and skeletal components is caused by deficiency of vitamin dash. The weakness of bones and skeletal components is caused by deficiency of vitamin dash. The next number. The next number. Dash vitamin functions. Dash vitamin functions as coenzyme in the body. Dash vitamin functions as coenzyme in the body. Should I give you option? Option A, vitamin A. Option B, vitamin B complex. Option C, vitamin C. Option D, vitamin D. So I have vitamin A, B, C, D. The next number. The swelling of the abdomen. The swelling of the abdomen due to deficiency. The swelling of the abdomen due to deficiency of a certain class of food. The swelling of the abdomen due to deficiency of a certain kind of food is called dash. The swelling of the abdomen due to deficiency of a certain kind of food is called dash. Make sure you're writing the question. Or what's your answer? The deficiency of a certain class of food. What did I say? The swelling of the abdomen caused by, is that what I said? Due to deficiency of a certain class of food is called dash. Now the next one. Deficiency of vitamin D in children and adults. The deficiency of vitamin D in children and adults respectively. The deficiency of vitamin D in children and adults respectively is called dash. The deficiency of vitamin D in children and adults is called dash. Should I give you option? Option A, rickets and osteomalacia. Rickets and osteomalacia. Option B, osteomalacia and rickets. Option B, osteomalacia and rickets. Option A is what? Rickets and osteomalacia. Option B, osteomalacia and rickets. Option C, skin disease. Option D, jaundice. Option D, jaundice. Hope you can spell jaundice. Jaundice. Number again, Nketa. Let's go 10. Excess of carbohydrates. Excess of carbohydrates are stored as dash and dash. Excess of carbohydrates are stored as dash and dash in plants and animals. excess of carbohydrates are stored as dash and dash in plants and animals. Full stop. I give you 3 minutes to answer those things. Please be very fast. You are making me tired. Humani Kuzia there is. And it does not make sense to teach and you are not doing well. I have an exam, but I'm here to teach you. So I'm gonna make better. Should we stop teaching? Should I stop teaching? I should stop, huh? I'll stop soon. Let me go and retire. You have your textbook, you read it by yourself, you understand. Obore. Please be fast. Hope you are done. Okay, so it should be done by now. Give your book to your neighbor, please. Let's mark. Emaria bone Emaria, what are you dear bang? Emia? Emaria? I'm gonna me pushing you the chair since. I'm just in a good mood today, Shan. KJ Tim Madi Yadram. All these people that are not writing, shout thank you, Jesus. I wanna open all them Naruko, say them now. Okay, please give to your neighbor. We don't have time. Let's continue with what we are doing. Give to your neighbor. Let's just mark quickly. Collect your neighbor's own. Oh. Don't mark your own. Ima can't give man with admission. I've told you. So give your own to your neighbor. And your neighbor cheats here among with admission. It's not about God forbid though. You know, if you have not told people story here one day, don't worry, I'll tell you a story. Okay, Mark Chagodi. What was the first question there, please? For the last time, make sure you're not marking your own. Make sure you are not marking your own. If you like, risk your admission for it. It took one on next year. So what's the first question there? Dash and dash are the types. Listen. Hello? Please keep quiet. Dash and dash are the two. Stay keep quiet. Dash and dash are the two types of nutrition. What's the answer? Eh? Please, if you know it, raise your hand. Let's be fast. Just 5 minutes for the correction. Let's continue. Please tell me.
Autotrophic and heterotrophic.
Onwoteya? Is that what I taught you? Is that what I taught you? The answer is plant and animal nutrition. So, Mark, you are wrong. Obu now.
Hello. Please, who is Chineye Ugwai? Chineye Ugwai. Chineye Ugwai.
Okay, so we Mark you are wrong. And when we tell you, can fuck and when we tell you. Okay. When we tell you. Okay, number 2. Dash and dash, you should use common sense. I've told you the answer in number 2. Dash and dash are the types of animal. You should not know that. Hey, there is plants and there is animal. So what's now the answer to the second one now? Autotrophic and heterotrophic. What is it? The number 2 question is dash and dash are the types of animal nutrition. Oburia. What's the problem? Eh? Okay, photosynthesis and chemosynthesis. The answer is photosynthesis. Okay, you don't catch me. It's actually 3. But if the person writes holozoic, saprophytic, or parasitic, you'll mark it. Chumo, when can I know Pogo? You're not marking again, or you're not a landlady. What's the next one? Who want to answer, uncle? If the person writes any of these 2 out of these 3, you mark holozoic, saprophytic, or parasitic. You remember our nutrition when we did this number? Let me give you an overview before we continue. Listen, you people don't read though. Do you know you don't read? Or is it that you read and you forget? Which one? You keep reading. Tinubu told us we hit the ground running. We don't stop. So you keep reading, don't stop. So we have that. Listen. We have, please look up. We have that nutrition is divided into 2. Plant nutrition and animal nutrition. Is that right? Plant nutrition is divided into 2. Photosynthesis and chemosynthesis. Animal is divided. It's the same thing now. Oburia. Plant nutrition is also called autotrophic nutrition. Okay, is that what you wrote? Okay, is that number one? Okay, if they wrote autotrophic and heterotrophic, mark it. Okay, auntie Anaga. Auntie? Where are you going to? Home. Oh, yeah, the one you want in your channel. You can go, be going. So number 2 is idols. What's number 3, please? There's no time. Which of this is not? So what's the answer? What's option A there? Is that the answer? That's correct. A is the answer. The steps in light stage are 4. Is that right? The first one is activation of chlorophyll, followed by photolysis of water. Third one, reconversion to water. And last one is reduction of nicotine, NADP+. Okay, what's the next question there? Dash and dasher. Okay, undergo photosynthesis. Okay. So what's the answer? Bacteria and fungi. That's the answer. If the person wrote nitrosomonas and guinea, they are all bacteria. It's not complete. The answer is bacteria and fungi. What's the next question? The steps what? Okay, oh yeah, listen. You know, in exam, in exam, it's not all about knowing. Listen now. They can ask you now, deficiency of niacin or vitamin B3 is dash. You shout what? Pellagra. Okay? Deficiency of vitamin D is dash. You shout what? Rickets. Deficiency of vitamin C is dash. What's the answer? Scurvy. But it's not about knowing the names. You have to know what the name means. Is that correct? If I ask you now what ricket is, somebody might not know. So even as much as you know those things, you should know their meaning. Is that clear? So it's a deficiency of a certain vitamin causes what? Bleeding in gums. Is that right? So what does bleeding in gum mean? Is that scurvy? Yes. So what vitamin is missing in scurvy? Vitamin C. So the answer is vitamin C. So know it today that bleeding in gums means what? Scurvy. What's the next question? Weakness of bones and skeletal components is due to dash vitamin bar. Up here? What's the answer? Vitamin D. What is weakness of bones? It is called rickets. Weakness of bones in children is called rickets, and in adults is called osteomalacia. What's the next question there? Dash vitamin functions as coenzyme. What's the answer? Vitamin B complex. Vitamin B complex. What's the next one? Keep quiet. Okay, swelling of the abdomen is what? What's the answer? So swelling of the abdomen due to deficiency of a class of food. So the class of food that's okay, swelling of the abdomen at first. Listen. Hi, Jesus Christ. Swelling of the body in general is what we call edema. It's called what? In case you see it anywhere. We have edema or edema. Any of the two. Like, do you know what is called elephantiasis? Those people that their legs are big. Is actually edema. If you press the leg, it is soft. So edema is actually accumulation of fluid in interstitial space. Those elephantitis is actually caused by a worm called Wuchereria bancrofti. We'll still do parasites soon. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that kwashiorkor is as a result of protein deficiency. When that protein is deficient, swelling will start occurring majorly in the abdomen. So that swelling is called kwashiorkor. So the answer is what? Kwashiorkor. What's the next question?